Hi guys, welcome back to the next part of the renovation vlog. If you're new here, hi, I'm Laura, welcome to the channel. So this week I'm not doing any more work on the bathroom. I've spoken to the plumber and he can't get out to do the toilet pipe for about another week and a half, 2 weeks max. So I can't put the bath in until the toilet pipe's in place, and I can't put the sink unit in until the bath's in place. I'd actually realised that if I put that sink unit in, that I wouldn't be able to get the bath in and moved around. It is going to be fitting into quite a tight space, so I need some room to be able to manoeuvre the bath. This week I'm just getting on with doing some other bits. I want to do some work in the kitchen and also sort out the cupboards in Alicia's bedroom. If you're a regular viewer, you will know the backstory. This house actually belongs to my mum. I'm in the process of buying it off her. So initially we'd started doing some work in the kitchen just to tidy it up a little bit. Got all the footage from when I was doing that. I'd actually started on this back in, I think it was about the middle of March. Then of course we got put into lockdown at the end of March, so everything has taken what seems like forever. So some of these clips that you're going to see of me are from back at the beginning of the year, so that's why I look so different on them. Let me show you what I'd got up to up until recently when I was deciding that I was actually going to buy the house. This is how the kitchen was looking once the last tenant had moved out. So there were some issues with it, so the plan was initially just to get this tidied up so that the house could be put on the market. I started off by removing the cupboard doors. The plan was to cover these in a wrap, so I was using the DC Fix again. I thought that it was best to try and get the kitchen as bright as possible, so I just went with the white. It was the white matte, not the white gloss that I used. Next up, I added in an oven housing unit just so that it wasn't a freestanding oven and it could be an integrated oven that was put in there. And there was an issue with this side panel. Basically, because the flooring had been laid underneath it, I couldn't get it to level up properly, so I needed to lift the floor up, cut away some pieces to get that put back in place. I picked out this wood effect worktop. Obviously it was a nice contrast with the white, and the plan was to get rid of the black tiles. So this was fitted, it was 2 long pieces, and also got a new electric cooker. So because there was a difference in height of the cupboards, these bits of tile at the bottom needed filling in. So the plan was to paint the tiles, so these didn't need to match at the bottom, so I just used some that I already had, and then used this multi-surface paint. Painted the tiles over. This was them after the first coat, and then this was them after the second coat, so it did cover quite well actually, and they do look so much better than the black. Now back to present day. At this point I decided that I was going to be buying the house. The kitchen was far too white, so I decided to use the same colour as what I've got in the current living room, which is the toasted almond crown paint. So I went out and bought a fresh tub of that and decided to give the kitchen a once over in this. It just really helped warm it up a little bit as well in there. Dark in here. I'd actually forgot to bring some bulbs with me. It's about as bright as I'm going to get it, unfortunately. Clearing some things down into the cellar because I just had tools absolutely everywhere. The cupboards were full of stuff, so I've moved over a few bits. I still need to get an oven, and I need to get the electrician round to put a socket, I think, on the inside of this cupboard so that I can turn the cooker and the oven off. so it's a spare that needs going on there, and then I've got a cupboard space here. So the plan is with this, well, I was actually going to wrap these wall cupboards. I'm in two minds as to whether I'm going to replace these, because what I was thinking of doing was getting a 300mm cabinet, so 30cm wide cabinet, just as something a little bit additional on the side rather than wrapping that so that it was another cupboard. But these cupboards are only 57cm high, and a standard wall cupboard is 70cm high. So unless I can find 300mm cabinet that's 57cm high, if I'm wanting to add additional storage in here, what I might have to do is just buy 2 additional wall cabinets. It'll mean that the height of them is increased and I'll be able to have 3 shelves in, because these are not actually great for storage. I'd started moving some of my glasses over. See, it's bending a little bit in the middle. I don't think I'm going to have enough cupboard storage, to be honest, so that's something that I might look at doing. So if I do that, I'm probably going to definitely change the tiles in here, but something that's a bit concerning, I can't figure out what's going wrong. I've noticed, well, when I came here today, there was a huge puddle on the worktop here, and I cannot for the life of me figure out where it's been coming from, because a couple of times I've had to wipe water off here and I just assumed it was whilst I was using the sink and I'd splashed it, but that doesn't seem to be the case, because I'd wiped everything down before I left the other day and it was quite a lot of water. There's piping behind here, so I don't know whether that's got something to do with it, because I'd just covered this over and this feels as though it's been getting a little bit damp, so I'm not sure whether it's something that's coming in from outside, because this is the brickwork that's exposed here. So I think until I'm here and I actually see it dripping from somewhere, I'm going to really struggle figuring out what's going on with that. Today I'm back at the house and I need to give everything a really good tidy up, because I've got some boxes in my car that I need to bring in and start putting away. So I'm here with the Pax Wardrobe, which I'm going to attempt to try and put back together again. Hopefully it will go together in one piece and not fall down on me, so we'll see how I get on with that, just so that I can start putting some stuff in there so that it's out of the way. Next up, I'm going to do the cupboards in Alicia's bedroom. I'm going to get these sorted out. I've started pulling off some of these hooks. They're the only ones that I can actually get off. These ones are not budging. I think the best thing for me to do with this is, once it's all painted, to just tape up around here and paint them in a different colour. I didn't really want to strip this off, because this is this little plaster is going to be like behind it, but seeing as some bits were coming off, I think I am just going to have to strip that section there. I think I've got some lining paper or another wallpaper somewhere, which I'll probably stick down and then paint over, but I just need to get this looking a little bit better so that all the stuff can start being brought over and put in. I saved the skirting boards from the bathroom. I'm going to reuse them in here, only because there are some gaps at the bottom and she's an absolute nightmare with spiders, so if the spiders lurking underneath the floorboards, they will be coming in here and she'll be screaming me every 5 minutes to come and catch them. So I think they'll kind of have to be patched up a little bit. I don't really want to go out buying new skirtings, but once I get some of these old screws off, I'll cut them to size and then I can just fill them with caulk and paint them over. after stripping, this is now what I'm left with. So it's obviously really old plaster. However, I have painted on plaster like this before and the finish hasn't turned out too bad. And I think that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to give this a really light sand down and go over with sugar soap before painting. So do you know when you have one of those weeks when it just feels like you've not really got anything done? That's this week for me. I have done quite a bit, but looking at things, they don't really seem much different. The cupboard is done as much as it's going to be. Sorry, the light in here is terrible. Like, it's actually a really dark house, but it is just grey and miserable at the moment. So this is looking as good as it's going to look. And at the top is kind of yellowy. It's a bit patchy, but it's going to be a wardrobe at the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. So I've got the shelf painted. I don't know whether I am going to change the colour of those hooks. I'll probably just leave them as they are rather than going out buying a metal paint unless there's something that I can find to use. So now all that needs to be done in here is for me to get the carpet fitted in properly, because I had cut it to the size without the skirting board. So obviously now with the skirting board in, I need to cut that properly. So I need to change the blade in my Stanley knife to do that, and yeah, just get all of that fitted down and put down the gripper rods, not gripper rods, you know what I mean, I can't think of what they're called. Put that back down to hold it in place. Put the poles back up, and then I can start moving some of Madam's things over here. So I've painted the inside of these doors. They're still actually a bit tacky. They might need another coat at some point in the future, but knowing what Alicia's like, they're going to be covered with makeup fingers, so I can always do that at a later point. Just a little bit of dust on here. I'd cut down an old piece of, well, a piece of the lino from the old bathroom. So it got some dust. I just need to give that a wipe down, and then I'll stick that down with some spray adhesive. And I just need to cut a piece of something. There's either carpet or the, I think it'll probably be carpet up there actually, and I'm not going to do anything else up there. I'll see whether I've got any bits left over that I can patch that up with at a later date, but I'll use that top cupboard for storing some of my things that I'm not going to need access to all of the time, and Alicia can use this cupboard and obviously the walk-in wardrobe as well. So once I finish the bathroom, if I've got any MDF left over, I'll just pop another shelf across here just so that it's just a little bit easier to store things. So yeah, that's all done. Just gave the back of the door another quick whip over as well. I am going to be putting a big mirror on the back of there, so that's fine as it is. In here is an absolute bomb site, so I need to get this organised over the next couple of days and take anything that I don't need down into the cellar. So yeah, nothing done obviously in the bathroom, and I just need to have a bit of a tidy up in here. So I'd started bringing, well, I already had a few bits here, but now I can use that wardrobe just to store some things out of the way. Thing that I need to do in here now that I've moved all of the tools out of the way, this bulb's blown, so I need to get another bulb for in here. Just finished popping the rest of this stuff down in the cellar and then get these shelves sorted out. I was going to use the DC fix on those shelves, but because I tried it in Alicia's bedroom cupboards and it wasn't sticking very well, I don't want to stress myself out with doing that, because I had a real paddy doing that the other day. It was driving me crazy, so I'm not going to attempt the DC fix on there, I don't think. So I can't really be arsed sanding them down, to be honest, because there is some flaking paint on them. So I probably need to do that on a day when I'm feeling a little bit more motivated, because looking at it at the moment, I just think I can't be bothered sanding it, getting flaky paint everywhere, and then probably as I'm painting it, paint's going to flake off. Because basically what I'd already done with this was, if you saw the house tour, I think that was before I'd painted this, there was a full tin of old Magnolia emulsion that hadn't been opened that was here, so I thought I'll just use that rather than going out buying new paint, since it's only the Cellar. So it is silk, so it's got a bit of a shine on it. So I just whipped over the walls and the back of the stairs, but you can see like how flaky the paint is. And then this is the state of the shelves underneath, so I really don't know what the best thing to do with these is. I mean, I would have really liked it to have sanded it back and then stained them so that it was wood, like the original wood, and I think that would have looked really nice, but I don't think I've got the patience for doing that because I've got so much other stuff to do. It's not really a priority to make this look absolutely spot on. It needs to be functional and clean, so I just really can't be bothered doing that. So down here's looking a little bit better after I sorted it out. Water's still coming in. But yeah, I've got pretty much all of my stuff organised apart from what's upstairs. So, sorry you can't see. But anyway, putting stuff on the shelves. A few random bits down here. Some stuff that needs to go to the tip. And that's another thing I'm getting a bit annoyed about, because past God knows how many times I've come here, I've not been able to get a parking space outside. Got all of this that needs to go to the tip. But I'm literally having to park right round the corner, so I'm not carting radiators, toilets and things round the corner to get in my car. So the next time I actually get a parking space, I need to make sure that I do that. So that's where we're up to. Not a lot in terms of what looks like progress anyway, so it's probably not been the most exciting vlog, so I'm sorry about that. The solicitors had called earlier. We're going to start talking about dates now. I'd said to them that I didn't want to move any sooner than the 13th of November, so that's almost 2 weeks away. So that will hopefully now give me time to get the bathroom sorted. So hopefully around that time dates will be confirmed, but I've got quite a lot to sort out now. Obviously packing at home, trying to get this in some sort of order. So I don't know whether there's going to be a renovation vlog next week. It might be a couple of weeks time, because obviously I've got so much to do. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time.